I think he will take it. All right, Tobias, das ist.
Ooh, that feels good.
Says it feels good.
Ooh.
White. No one's ever said ooh after seeing white, but Tobias showing his optimistic side. 40K. You know, it's the only world in which a man wins $40,000 and then shrugs his shoulders disappointedly. But still one opportunity. Leon is saying that he's a what?
Professional.
Okay. True professional.
Oh, which way?
Show the camera right over here. Are you disappointed already?
Yeah.
How professional are you? Recently turned? You can do better than 40 maybe. And maybe you can't. 40 and 40, unfortunately for Tobias. 80K min bounty with 2 tokens. Clemens Reuter, where are you? He's been waiting patiently. I see you've brought someone with you. Who is this?
Alice, my girlfriend.
Ellis, your girlfriend. Ellis, is she gonna go first?
Yeah, she's gonna go
It looks like you're looking around the room for someone else as well.
bounty, but I can't find him. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, Alex is doing it for me.
Are you sure you want to use Alex? Because Greta, somewhere out there, has done very, very well. Alex, I'm just saying. You know.
My lack in Monte Carlo, I don't think I have anything for him. But
Uh-oh, that ain't great. Meanwhile, 40,000, that's the work done so
Девки самые
far.
бестолковые,
Next up,
блядь.
Theologius is gonna tap in. He's redeeming a chip.
Одна
Luka.
смотрит, вторая, блядь, вверх ногами.
Alex.
there's no M2 right?
No.
Okay, fine. So it can't be that bad.
40K min. Oh, hang on. It is not a 40K. A sliver of gold is in this envelope. Cannot be a draw again. It is 200,000. Alex Theologius promptly steps up and nails 200K for Clemens Reuter. Nicely done. And a free roll as you still have one more to go. 240K. Yeah, Alex didn't get a kiss. He's okay with it, he says. That's all right, Clemens, you don't have to kiss. We're not gonna make it weird. All right, let's see whether or not he can pick up even more than he already has.
Let's see. Oh, it's a white one.
It's a white one, he says. How white is it? 40K. 40, 240 for a total of $280,000. Well done, Clemens Reuter. Now, for the rest of you who have been patiently waiting, we're going to give you an update. There are still 2 gold envelopes remaining with 100,000 each in them. That's what you're playing for. And on deck is Cale Burns. Cale, 3 bounty chips, 2 chances at 100K.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's gonna be tough.
It's all right.
It's gonna be tough.
It's okay.
Going, right?
Listen, you're not here at Triton because you wanted easy street. You're here for tough.
All right, let's go.
Show us.
All right, bring it. Give me an envelope. How many envelopes we got left in there?
Total?
Yeah.
How many total envelopes, he's asking, do we have? No, 3 total, no. 9 total envelopes inside. 2 of them are good.
All right. How do I do this for the sweats?
There you go, just like that.
And then,
Reach in. You can peer over if you want, in the inside.
okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, that looks maybe sparkly.
Sparkly, but white.
White.
Go ahead and pull the rest out. 60K. Could have been worse. That is all right. Good attitude. 2 more left. Now there's 8 envelopes inside and 2 good ones, Cale. I know you've done more complex math than this. But if 2 out of 8 envelopes are good, what percentage do you have right now to pull gold?
Sounds like 25%.
That does sound like 25%. Tell him what he's won. 80K as he ripped the Band-Aid off right away. Not bad.
Let's see where all these are.
Now you got a 2 out of 7 chance. Reaching deep. You can grab one of the 2. There it is. Now, whoa, under the table with it. Now, what are you trying to swap out? You know, if it's handwritten, it's going to be DQ'd. Hang on. What?
Да, они просто вытаскивают эти мистерки и все. Ничего интересного.
Oh, bring it up. Okay, fine. Don't make it private. 80, though. 80, 80, and 40. Nicely
ебанат,
done
блядь.
with 3 chips. Oh,
Самые
80,
пиздорукие
60,
пока девки, вот этот
40. Was
ебанат.
it? 80, 60.
Ему говорят, показывайте на камеру, он там, блядь,
Envelopes
что-то
could be a lot worse than that. Now,
против
who's on the
системы,
on-deck
блядь.
circle coming to the stage now? Thomas Boivin. There he is, patiently. You've waited. How hard is it to sit back there and sweat, Thomas? Anti-sweat.
I was eating at the restaurant, so.
So you're not the guy to ask, apparently. Says he was grabbing a bite at the restaurant. Now
Опа.
he's looking for a nibble here, and he finds 100K. Only 1 gold envelope remain. Thomas Boivin.
Нужно было гранаты, но не говорит.
100,000. Is your food still on the table?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my.
All right, go ahead, Thomas. You just had dessert before you finished dinner. Who's next,
Ну
Luca?
какой-то слишком это.
Jeremy Osmus, come on down.
Потому что
How many chips are in his hand? Just 1.
1 chip.
But 1 gold envelope.
это.
Total of how many
Ну
envelopes
какие-то,
remain in
я не знаю,
there?
а сколько турик был?
5.
По 30 тысяч?
20%
Или по 40?
chance
По 40,
to pull
по-моему,
the
да?
final 100K.
То есть
That's what you
минимальный,
got,
но,
Jay.
а максимальный 10 боинов, блядь. Ну, то есть максимальный 500 тысяч. Ну, блядь, хоть миллион сделали бы, ебать.
Very well could be Ollie.
Oh, disappointingly, he pulls white. He pulls 40,000. Hey, not too shabby. He will take it. GG, sir. Next up, we call Ivan Zhang.
Собака какое место занял этот 250-ки в итоге?
Ivan, there he is. Every time I look at Ivan,
Мы видели,
when
когда
he's
за
in
Дисом
this
болели.
jacket, I think for a split second it's Joe Schwen. But it is not. It is Ivan, and you have great odds right now. 25% chance to pull the last 100K. 4 envelopes, 1 pull. Make it happen.
Can you tell me what's others?
Ой, Иван, да.
Yeah.
1 of 100, 1 of 60, 240.
240.
Я сейчас говорили, что это ты был.
160, 100K. 25% to pull.
Иван, ну это тортик. Все, это без шансов. Это всегда до 500 тысяч.
Reach. He's found him.
Если это тортик, блядь, это 500 тысяч
Beat the
всегда.
magic
Да.
one.
Could be 25% chance, right?
Correct.
Тоже пиздорог.
White. But 60. Could have been worse.
Тоже не показал.
So,
ничего.
congratulations
Тоже
to Ivan
пиздоруки,
Zhang.
нахуй. Иван,
on
сразу, ну сразу
pulling
видно
the
тортик, нахуй.
non-40K.
Пиздоруки
And
такой
now,
же.
there are 3 people remaining.
3 человека осталось,
First
и
of them is
500
not
тысяч
actually
лежит там.
pulling an envelope. Luca, you're gonna be
То
pulling
есть
for
топ-топ не
Winfred Yu.
вытащили.
I believe Kian is pulling for Winfred, but I cannot find
А
him.
500 тысяч вытащили? А, я же
Oh,
входил.
come on down. Keon's going to be pulling for Winfred Yu. It is a single chip, but now, is it 0.5 chip? Or it's a 1 chip? Full chip.
А кто вытащил
Okay.
500 тысяч?
So you
Блядь,
already
видишь?
have won 30,000, I
Тут еще
believe,
хуево, что было.
courtesy of the IBM
Типа то, что
round chip.
каждый там, ну,
One single
за,
pull,
там,
33
хоть за кого-то
chance.
вытаскивал, хоть за того вытаскивал, хоть за этого вытаскивал. Непонятно, для кого, за кому, ну, что вытаскивать. Нахуй, что, они сами не могут вытаскивать, что ли? Ладно, я понимаю, когда девушка там твоя, типа, окей. Типа, ну, когда, зачем ты игрока?
Rip it out. $100,000. Keon casually strolls up here and serves as a very profitable proxy. Winfred will be happy. Hopefully you got a little taste, Keon, I'm just saying. Now, moving on. 2 envelopes remaining. It is slightly anticlimactic. Wang Yang is next. Come on down. Wang, doibuchi. You know? Пуха, пуха.
Там 1-4 золотых вытянула, 200, 200, 500, нихуя себе. Ну, для них это копейки, понятное дело. То же самое, что я бы вытащил, блядь, по 40 турнир, 25 долларов турнир. Ну, типа, играю и 25 долларов вытащил. Ебать, я бы радовался, бля, ебаный в рот. Я, видимо, отходил, когда 500 тысяч. Я думаю, просто... Я же ходил за едой.
40,000 です。No good. いいですか？No, no いいですか？No No ides. 40,000. I'm sorry. It had to happen.
Мне бы такой один конвертик, я был бы доволен.
40K is 40K. All right. Congratulations to you, my friend. And with that, at long last,
Любой,
we do wrap
даже
it
не
up.
золотой.
We're working OT out here. I know you got to get this event back going, so we're going to send it back into the studio for more.
Блядь, сколько они, блядь, эту хуйню занимались?
Great work from Ali. Thank you so much. And Luca, of course. That was very exciting. I mean, Matis Symbolis, pretty amazing pulls there. Finishes 12th in the 40K mystery bounty for just a little over $70,000. And then pulls $1 million. I mean,
43 минуты заскивают. Так, наверное,
that's why we love
сейчас
these mystery
поставлю
bounty
эту
tournaments.
задержку.
Yeah, I mean,
3 минуты. И перекур пока.
Wide, but 60. Could have been worse. So, congratulations to Ivan Zhang on pulling the non-40K. And now, there are 3 people remaining. And the first of them is not actually going to be pulling an envelope. Luca, you're going to be pulling for Winford Yu?
I believe Kian is pulling for Winfred, but I cannot find him.
I don't see Kian either. Oh, you here? Come on down. Kian's going to be pulling for Winford Yu. It is a single chip. But now, is it 0.5 chip? Or it's a 1 chip? Full chip, okay. So you already have one, 30,000 I believe, courtesy of the Ibinger half chip. One single pull, 33% chance, Keon. That's
Winfred got the 100K he wants. Gold?
Show us.
I have no idea what's this.
It's gold. Rip it out. $100,000. Keon casually strolls up here and serves as a very profitable proxy. Winfred will be happy. Hopefully you got a little taste, Keon, I'm just saying. Now, moving on. 2 envelopes remaining. It is slightly anticlimactic. Wang Yang is next. Come on down. Wang, 对不起. You know, 不好不好. All right, what are the options right now? 40 and 40. Pa, madre. Next. All right. Oh, yeah. You want me to do it? I can do the same thing again. Here he comes. Ryuta Nakai. Sumimasen. Nakai-san, でもこちらは40,000です。No. いいですか? No, いいですか? No, いいです。40,000. I'm sorry. It had to happen, but 40K is 40K. All right. Congratulations to you, my friend. And with that, long last, we do wrap it up. Luca, working OT out here. I know you got to get this event back going, so we're going to send it back into the studio.
Много отмотал я.
Great work from Ali. Thank you so much. And Luca, of course. That was very exciting. I mean, Matis Symbolis, pretty amazing pulls there. Finishes 12th in the 40K mystery bounty for just a little over $70,000 and then pulls $1 million. I mean, that's the dream right there. That's why we love these mystery bounty tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, we suggested this might happen before that event got underway, but the player who won the most money in that tournament, not the player who won that tournament. Producer James was doing a little bit of math on the side as we went through that mystery bounty draw, and like you just said, Griffin, Matas all the way down in 12th. If we take a look at the leaderboard, only 71,000 for that spot down there. He pulled $1,080,000. If we look at Sean Winter all the way at the top, 935,000, but he drew just 120,000 in bounties, falling shy. I believe Matthias Ibinger, who had the most bounties, 10, 11 pulls, right?
Yeah. And what's really remarkable is 4 players end up cashing for a little over $1 million, and nice to sort of spread it out evenly, a little more than what we're used to seeing. So if you do see a big smile on the face of one of the players that we're about to feature here in the 50K 7-handed final table, might be the short stack who has 5 big blinds. You know, just a little break from the final table, and you just go ahead and win the lottery for $1 million. I mean, that's kind of the dream for the Lithuanian right there, and I'm sure he's very, very happy with that result. Likely one of his biggest scores ever, and most of it comes from just pulling a bunch of envelopes. So I guess it was his lucky day.
Yeah, this is the atmosphere that mystery bounties can bring. I remember the first time I played a mystery bounty myself at the Win. We were playing for $2,200. The tournament was still running. We didn't take breaks there. This is unique to me that the whole room was paused, by the way. The 50K, the 150K paused for that draw that everyone was watching. But I remember watching someone walk away from their table, pull $250,000, and just leave their seat for like an hour. He was high-fiving. This guy was thrilled. He got $250K. I think first place was $200,000 in this tournament. He was drinking beers. He was high-fiving the staff.
Right to the roulette table.
I'm at his table. I'm watching him fold out, like blind out of the tournament. He didn't care. I mean, he won first.
It's almost amazing to me that we weren't doing this, you know, like even maybe 6-7 years ago. That this is a new format, you know, that we're not familiar with. It's really fun. It's happening all over the world. We do a really great job here at Triton, giving these super high rollers these massive pulls. So definitely a player favorite, and one I think we can expect to see, you know, in each and every stop here at Triton.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So we are obviously need to shift our focus back to, frankly, the most exciting and star-studded final table of Triton Jeju so far. And you look at the players left in this event. I mean, you know, it's a who's who of some of the greatest players in the world. I mean, I suggested to Randy before you got here, Kevin, that maybe 6 of the 8 players here I would consider in maybe 5 sort of top 20 players in the entire world, some top 10. So we really saw indications of that, the way they were playing some of these hands in the last couple levels, that incredible 4-bet bluff all in with the King 10 suited from Bryn Kenny. We saw, you know, the amazing fold from Brandon Wilson with that Ace-King pre-flop. The 10s fold on the button, folded to Michael Watson on the button, gets away from pocket 10s against the pocket jacks of Mario Mosbeck. As we take a look at what the chips look like, Dylan Lind came into the final table sort of around 70 big blinds, with Bryn having 65. Now has really pulled away as Bryn did slip a little bit, losing that cooler jacks to aces against Juan Pardo.
There is Matas Symbolas, 1,080,000 richer. Still going to find discipline on the button with the 4 deuce. A lot of free hands for him.
You've got that glasses move down.
What's that?
Like how you can roll like your glasses off like your face, but keep them on your ears. You've got that one down.
Yeah. Used to it.
Is there no,
like,
is there no assistance happening there to those glasses Bryn's referring to?
When I went upstairs to dinner. Still there.
Just resting on his temples. That
Did
is.
that flash?
It's impressive.
That's strong.
I mean, better safe than sorry.
Can I see it first and then tell you?
Mario, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but I think Mario's changed sweaters.
Yeah,
or maybe he's taken off a couple of the patches. Of course, still repping coin poker.
You can't really say if no one saw it, though, is what Steve's saying. If there's a benefit, a possibility that someone saw it, you should flip it.
There's a chance someone saw it. This thing? Yeah, just roll it.
It went high. I don't know.
Show.
Just flip it.
Yeah. I think that's it's the safest route.
Yeah.
8-8. Okay. Better.
Team 8-8.
It's better.
Yeah.
No stress.
Folded to Dylan in the hijack with ace deuce off. Not really normally a candidate that you would love to open with. But with that significant chip lead, is going to go for it with the blocker here, Kevin.
Oh yeah, he's going to do something with this stack setup. He's got a pretty commanding lead. The players with the most chips behind him, Mosbach and Kenny, kind of the ones who are the most handcuffed.
Yeah, we haven't seen Steve O'Dwyer's hand yet, but the way that he took pause and sort of moved those chips around to the front and started shuffling them, you know, Dylan's probably a little concerned, but he's going to play it as a flat.
Yeah, surprising. Not a lot of players coming with flat off of what looks like 12 big blinds to start this hand. There was a shorter player with Michael Watson in the big blind.
Какой
and of
кол,
course,
блядь,
Montas looming with just 4 blinds.
This hand does make a little bit of sense to me. Certainly a candidate for a shove. Dylan's going to have a lot of raise.
Ну, просто такой кол, блядь,
cautious
нахуй.
considering, you know, he's
У чела, блядь, 9 блайндов.
With Mattis's 4 blinds and Watson's 11.
And even just looking at exactly who Dylan opened to in this hand, it's all the shortest stacks. So Dwyer might have even been a little bit spooked by the choice to min-raise instead of an open jam. You know, playing a little bit cautiously with a hand that he might be comfortable 3-bet jamming in other scenarios.
That's a very, very good point. And ace deuce makes a lot of sense as the kind of hand that you don't want to raise for an effective all-in for 15 blinds. And at this point, I think Dylan's anticipating there's a chance this ace high's actually good. Maybe O'Dwyer's going to be weighted more into big Broadway combos like King Queen. I mean, I don't know how he would react to a bet, but
yeah, I don't think Dylan expects any ace highs. Maybe just the occasional trap with pocket aces, but definitely had some showdown value. At this point, the only thing that could cause a problem for Dylan is if he uses this hand as a bluff. Although it's hard to imagine what hand he would put Steve on flatting pre-flop. That's kind of in between ace high and a pair of kings.
540.
Does decide he's just too low in his range, but I'm sure he's not exactly clear on what it is he's trying to make Steve fold here.
yeah, maybe something like an ace-10 suited or an ace-jack off.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
Sometimes not enough information and we just do what it feels like we have to do to play our range well.
Yeah, very small misstep from Dylan just because he happened to bluff at the wrong street.
Yeah, certainly any earlier in that hand and he just takes it down.
Thank you. Really, yeah, he's already thinking about the hand like,
Well, we've told you before, if you've been watching, online poker is back in America. Club WPT Gold has opened its doors to all eligible players in the US. Packed with non-stop action from ring games to MTTs and massive guarantees. Sign up today at Club WPT Gold. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited.
Symbolis, good opportunity to shove in these 5 big blinds. Coming off I mean,
там короткий был. Ну,
best
блядь,
career
ну...
score, not even
650,000.
coming
Все-таки,
into
сколько у
that
него получается было?
somehow walked
2400
away
это
with
было
over a
общее
million.
или это?
And now
Мне
playing
кажется, все равно
for
это
another
лучше.
2.3 here in this 50K. Long way to go, but this, you know, not a bad start, all things considered. Might get called by worse. Four big blinds. I think that'll be a spin for Mario here, Kev.
Yeah, at this price, hard to imagine not putting the money in with this hand. He asks Matas for his last 25K chip.
And Matas quickly obliges. He wants to get to the bar to celebrate his $1 million win. Great start for Mario Mossbach. Very behind now is Symbolis. Jack would make things interesting. And that's going to do it. I'd say it was a good couple of hours for Matas. Would have liked to get a little lucky on this final table, but how about getting lucky with all those envelopes?
Yeah, we can't choose where we're going to run good, but no doubt he's doing better than expected at this trip. Guaranteed to leave Jeju a winner, barring some catastrophe in the next few events.
Yeah, and having a really great series, you know, knocking on the door. This is his 4th cash here in Jeju, 15th place in the 20K, 15th in the 30K, 12th in that mystery bounty for over $1 million, and now 8th place here in the 50K. Nothing to sneeze at. 276,000 more added. Great, great series for the Lithuanian. Indeed, King Jack of Diamonds. So predictable. Rutrow. Steve O'Dwyer, ace king off. 18 big blinds.
Gotta think we play this as an effective jam. Although from the hijack, some players liking to go with the small size more often. Maybe we see an induce from time to time, just not the typical play with the offsuit ace.
Yeah, and Brandon Wilson with 14 big blinds and Watson with 8. Maybe you want to lean more shove in this situation, and does do that effectively.
4 million.
I think it's really important, Kevin, to have a little bit of a hand funeral when you have to race with King Jack suited. You know, I'm not usually a fan, but
if Dylan maybe had practiced sleight of hand at some point in his life,
Катал, да?
hoping he could slide a jack in there instead of that King of Diamonds. But
Ну, я так и я. В Сочи катал пару раз.
he could have a few cards.
Пару серий. И, ну, во Вьетнаме.
Doubt
И в
anyone
Камбодже.
checked.
Ну, то есть, ну, может, туриков
security very good here at
15
Triton.
сыграл там.
I checked. I gave him the pat down.
That's. I believe in the security, but not.
Да я там клоун. Там самые слабые составы, которые есть вообще. Ты просто охуеваешь, блядь, насколько там чуваки. Ну, опять же, на микролимитах. Понятно, да? Там челы просто вообще не в ту сторону катают. Ну, как, в принципе, в онлайне, блядь. Но это не мешает ему выигрывать у меня. Потому что им full раздают, да.
For the former footballer from Austria.
Playing deep enough that we're not interested in open shoves. Bring Kenny about 25 big blinds effective. Pretty quick pass there. Thought maybe he'd consider a small 3-bet, but
yeah, so did I.
Just kind of not interested in the spot.
Ну да, пихать смысла нет особо. Всегда open. Наверное, от каких-то пятерок можно пихать.
Actually, it harkens back to a hand before the break, where Bryn opened in early position with ace queen suited, came to Mario.
Какие двойки рейс, тройки, четверки, пятерки пих, шестерки рейс, семерки рейс.
When Mario folded, where he said, I had that one where I might 3-bet, and he said, I had the one that would have gone all in. So he kind of, so it's interesting that a similar spot in a way came up, and they're both sort of giving respect to the other, not trying to get away with those sneaky big blind, one big, one low combo 3-bets. Watson 8 big blinds to the hijack, king 10 off. Good enough for you, Kev?
Пойди пас.
Cuspy one. Not sure how many raises we might try to employ at this stage. We're kind of the shortest by far, so I think we just push, yeah. It does feel like a bottom jam, though. I'd fold king 9.
Yeah, cusp city for Michael Watson, and might
get
one better hand to fold. I have to imagine this is a hand that Mario would be happy to call all in with in the big blind, maybe, probably even the small.
Yeah,
how does it affect things on the cutoff? You can see the hesitation.
Just looking ahead to who's in the big blind.
There it is.
Dylan Lindy, the chip leader, and yeah, just any player could wake up with a hand. Bryn here with, I think, a pretty clear one.
Один, блядь, король даму колет, второй, блядь, король 10
him to want to
пихает.
isolate, knowing that Dylan's in the big blind. We don't want to just call, let the chip leader rejam with some extra hands. We just want to be all in against the short stack with these 8s.
And two players who have surely tangled with each other for what must feel like eons, playing tournaments against each other, all the way from probably $100, $200 buy-in on some online sites back in circa 2009, all the way to, you know, buy-ins as big as $500,000. Here they are, tangled in a flip in this 50K. Watson's gonna need a lot of help. King or a 10. Last chance. Not going to do it. Michael Watson is going to be our 7th place finisher for a little over $375,000.
Пойди, надо идти уже это. Собираться.
No. Yeah. Especially with this look when you said it. No, we fold. Ace jack, ace 10 suited.
Nice to get an insight into some of the ranges there.
That's how
as we see
you are if you think one off.
the Canadian can add to his total of $12.5 million in Triton earnings. Has 4 titles out here. This 50K will not be his 5th. Had that incredibly difficult fold with pocket 10s that had he ended up all in there, you know, if we hadn't seen that one Pardo 4-bet, would be doing a lot better in this tournament, but made the right decision in folding, but would have gotten lucky. You didn't see that hand, did you, Kev?
Oh, I caught the stream
yeah.
while I wasn't here, and I was impressed with that fold. I mean, it has to be done.
Were you listening to the commentary during it?
Would you like to remind me what was said?
Yeah, I lost a food voucher to Randy. Decided to bet one that he was going to call. Idiot.
Oh. Randy's a sharp one.
Yeah.
Falling mechanics. Super bloomer or super premise? Yeah. It depends on the... It's very tough. Yeah. I think probably you overplaying the spot. I overbluff? Overplaying the spot, so probably overbluff. Yeah. It's so easy. But it's always, I don't know. I think it's hard to be ever really.
That makes no sense to me too. Yeah.
I think
Goes
ace
down
is
all the
good
way to
because like it
25,
don't block any of my.
like to 30
Yeah,
at
of course,
6,
ace
like,
9 is out.
makes some
Like,
sense. I get it when it's heads up. Maybe like heads up down to 20 or something. But like down to 25 forehand is pretty good.
Ace queen offsuit for Mario.
Anyway, I've been
Gonna be pretty happy to see this hand, but maybe a bit cautious given his awkward stack size. He's third in chips with these 33 blinds. O'Dwyer with 21, Pardo with 18, and Wilson with 14. Dylan Lind could
Против
certainly
ТГ
put a
Plus,
great deal of pressure
если
on
бы он был на
Mario
каком-нибудь хайджеке,
as
наверное,
the
3
chip
бет.
leader, but he could also just respect the raise and fold. What's it gonna be, Dylan?
Yeah, I think any ace has to consider some 3-bet bluffing. Certainly not a good enough hand to call with, but probably mixing a little bit of raise with all the different raggedy aces that he gets dealt there.
Этот дурачок может и заколить. Max?
No interest from Wilson, facing the early position raise with the king 7 offsuit.
So you must have seen the Wilson ace king fold too.
That was nice. Yeah. Couple of really good folds.
It's almost like these guys are some of the best.
But it's nice when we deal them tough spots.
Yeah.
To allow them to show how good they are, you know?
Yeah.
That was the best part.
I'm excited for some door number 3 stuff in this FT.
Oh, it's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah. Brain ace 5, the hijack. Suited combo, I think we'll be coming in for a raise. Offsuit, gonna consider it and go for it.
Когда после тебя чпак сидит, вряд ли захочется открывать такое.
It's gonna be some relief to just get through Dylan, who's technically the chip leader to him.
Хороший на ББ.
I think I shove king check and 3-bet king 10.
King 10?
I don't know.
Probably. If you take a lot, all the king 10 for example,
Yeah.
and ace 4, is pretty probably
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Can we just record whatever those
Yeah, I was
two
just gonna say,
to
like,
each other?
Let's be careful
Store
about when
that
we're
away
talking.
and maybe sell it as like an audiobook series for training content.
Now, this is free content. Wilson, kind of a hand that plays itself here. Just hoping to get this shoved through on 11 blinds.
Yeah, don't think I would try to get sneaky with the min raise on the button. Hand's just a little bit too good.
Default button. Опа.
Oh boy.
Oh.
That's going to be a snap. Unlucky to run into the ace-jack here. Just 6 left and far and away the shortest stack
интересных
right now
раздач,
is
да?
Brandon Wilson.
Прям пиздец.
Yeah.
На B20 так не
By all
играют.
accounts, has played maybe the best final table so far of anyone here, between that really nice bluff against Bryn Kenny and then folding the ace-king to the aces pre-flop. Maybe he's going to get a little lucky. Oh, the tease, the door card, the window card. We're going to do this again.
5 in the door and jack in one of the windows.
No, people don't like that. People have decided the first card is the window card, remember? 8 of hearts on the turn. 5 and only a 5. Or Brandon Wilson is going to Vietafir, collecting just over
GG.
$500,000. Nice score.
Crazy flop.
Yeah.
Five
So
in
you're
a
already
five in
down.
a row.
And then 3, and then bing.
Emilia, can I have your hoodie? Can I have your hoodie? Like, I'm cold, but I need something.
Yeah, they made you sweat that one, that's for sure. Until you didn't.
Чувак как-нибудь с 500 тысячами переживет, да?
Another nice performance from Brandon Wilson. Also final table the 30K. No limit hold'em 8-handed event for 259,000. So comes out here for his first stop. Has 2 nice 6-figure scores totaling nearly 800,000. He's definitely in the black. Hailing from the United States, representing America well. Just 5 remain. They're dropping like fries. Is that the expression?
It's the only way I've ever heard it. One Pardo definitely playing a bit closer to the chip leaders right now, but still may be ambitious to play this one out of position against a covering stack. Just kind of updating his parameters, getting used to the new chip layout. Now nobody below 20 big blinds. Steve O'Dwyer in 5th with 5 million.
Yeah, no extreme short stacks anymore. Everyone at 20 big blinds or more. 20 for O'Dwyer, all the way up to the 48 of our chip leader, Dylan Lindy. Kojak for Bryn Kenny. Starting with a limp. Not incentivized to raise in a spot like this.
Yeah, we might see some players approach that spot, just never raising. 40 versus 40. Yeah. 2 biggest stacks at this table. A lot of reason to keep it small.
Bada boom.
Is that for Bryn?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Увеличенный, да? Сразу. Не один ББ
High
поставил.
reasonable hand on this board, but that little size up, no heart for Dylan, might be enough to get him out.
It's just hard, man. You're up against Bryn Kenny. Even if Bryn has 7-8 offsuit, or he's just gonna keep betting.
Ну, дам 4 это
Yeah,
гол.
hard to see a path to victory for Queen 4.
Especially against King Jack. Oh, Mario thought of something funny. He was running simulations in his head, and then funny joke from South Park came in his head. Pardo, King 6 suited.
Right.
Only problem with this is getting through the 2 chip leaders. They can put a lot of pressure on Pardo's open here. And a heck of a candidate in the ace-4 of clubs. Rabbit Chow.
Yeah, feels like a close one, I think. Calling is an option. I don't think we want to play shoves because of Dylan's larger stack behind, but 3-betting definitely just a totally fine play with this type of hand.
3-бет против Котофа. Ну, нормально. Можно call, можно 3-бет.
When it gets back to 1 Pardo, this is the type of hand that will sometimes 4-bet bluff. I don't know if we have the stack to maneuver Cutoff
Сколько
versus
он дал?
button.
Problem
6.
is,
Definitely some, you know,
5, 7.
shenanigans happening in these positions.
problem is Bryn has the kind of hand you can 5-bet all in with.
Oh, that could be a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, one parto just passing. Just rooting for the spicy plays.
Yeah,
all.
me too. I wanted to see 5 bets there between two players with a 6 and a
3-bet
4 in
норм.
their hand.
Понятно.
Come on,
Ну, чаще
impress
я
us.
пол играл.
What are we not paying you for? No, they're doing plenty of impressing so far. Queen 8 suited in the cutoff. I think it's going to be good enough for Bryn to stay active. He's only been attacked once so far on this final table by Dylan Lindy. When he opened the button with that 10-9 of hearts, and Lindy 3-bet him with the ace-deuce suited from the small and got it through.
Пол.
So he's allowing, you know, it's technically, this is the thing, Kev, it's technically Dylan Lindy's, like, property, but he's letting Bryn graze a bit, you know? He's letting him eat, doesn't want to, you know, mistreat him. He's a big animal, Bryn Kenny. You don't want him to get on your bad side.
I mean, Dylan, you know, being respectful of the cards as they're dealt. You get dealt the Jack-6 offsuit, you just let the man play his pot.
There was a spot, you know, before the end of the last level where he had an opportunity.
Брин Кенни маленькую.
And didn't take it.
Мазбок.
Those are my favorite spots to take.
Yeah, no, so they were discussing the
2 in a
hands.
row, 3 in a row.
Yeah, so he 3-bet on the first time with the ace-deuce, and then they were like chatting a bit, and Dylan was saying like sometimes you get the hand spots, you just have to do it or something. Sometimes they had this whole conversation. Sometimes you're the nail, sometimes you're the hammer. Then the very next hand, last hand before the break, Bryn opened Jack 10 off the cutoff, and Dylan had the Queen Jack off, and just folded.
Yeah.
Ты никогда, блядь, не
I
чекаешь
think it
без
was,
ШДВ.
as I suggested at the time, it indicated to me that it was kind of like he wasn't going to push his luck with the dragon, right?
Even maybe influenced by that chatter.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah.
Тут Мазбок может поставить крупную одну, может чек.
Bryn with a
Нет, чек
pretty
не нравится.
showdownable one on the flop, and now picks up a flush draw to go with it. I would have been surprised. Mario took some time there, maybe just, you know, recognizing that this board texture connects pretty well with him, and he needs to take time with some other hands. It doesn't surprise me to see him bet the 8-5 of clubs.
Yeah, he really wants to see a check here on the turn.
And if Bryn had not picked up all this equity with the diamonds and the gut shot, I don't think we ever see an 8 betting for value, but here...
Жалко у Мазбока не 9-5.
Threat of a check raise, not a
Блядь,
big
наказали
problem
за такие
for
чеки
Bryn's
флопов.
hand. So we try to get our 1 street of value now.
Ну, то есть, там, наверное, можно чекнуть как раз какие-то 8-7, 8-9, типа.
Discipline from the Austrian.
Отлично, нихуя не добрали. Великолепно. То есть,
that's
чел на флопе никогда не выкинет. Да? Ну, чаще он протянет на флопе, чем на терне. То есть мы сначала чекаем свою вторую пару, потом, когда она становится третьей парой, мы, блядь, ставим. Блядь, чё нахуй? Блядь, просто... Ну, насрано, блядь. Просто насрано. Ну, блядь. То есть я понял, пришла бы там двойка, он поставил бы. Но после того, ну, блядь.
Takedown against Mario. Bryn Kenny is our new chip leader with 51 blinds. I don't know, does he have like a history of being good with the chip leads?
То есть тогда чекать надо дальше, если ты уж, блядь, на это.
Little known fact.
В такую линию уходишь, блядь.
Bryn's first ever chip lead in any tournament.
I was wondering,
anywhere in the world.
I felt an energy shift, and I wanted to figure out what it was, and I knew I'd talk myself into the answer. Thank you.
Still, miraculously, he's won $73 million, 45 here at Triton. Just always happens to win.
But again, his biggest score was 17 million, second place finish, because he never had the chip lead, right? Mario. Limps the suited combo. Really hoping to see a check back.
7-3 точно изол. 7-4 можно изолить, можно
Mario
чек.
covers just slightly, and when the two stacks are close together like this, Mario can play some hands, but he can't necessarily just go nuts, like raising everything, you know, open jamming, open raising all the time, like you might see from a
Дама
chip
X
leader.
самый хуёвый борт.
So I think it makes sense to play a lot of limps.
Ну, видимо, 1 ББ.
We don't necessarily love the Queen 9-4 as Mario.
Так говоришь, может, не говоришь. Ну, бля, ну... Так это, понимаешь, это даже, ну... Это же дефолт. Ну, то есть тут нету какого-то супер что-то такого. Да? Ну, это же дефолт. Ну, как бы, блядь, я не понимаю. Ну, то есть люди, которые играют по 10 лет в покер, ну, там, блядь, должны понимать это. Ну, таких лимитов. Ну, видишь, простейшего, мне кажется, не понимают. Ну, то есть, ну, логика игры в чем? Что, типа, он не добрал на флопе. Ну, то есть не поставил доску супер сухую. 10-8-2, хуй знает, как можно сушить доску, блядь, найти. Так, ну, я не знаю, как это хуйня какая-то. Они сидят просто комбинацию собирают. Это даже не пытается блефовать. Это понятно, что ДВ, как бы, ему не надо блефовать. Оверкарта пришла. Он может девятку прочекать там, типа, блядь. Но опять же, смысла, блядь, нет. Ты всегда лучше поставить 1 ББ. Ну, типа, блядь, у тебя 6 хай, ебаный в рот. Ну. Да и не говори, блядь, просто. Не, ну тут он, понятно, поставит. Ну, опять же. Типа, изображает девятку. Ну. Кол. Какой кол, нахуй? Какой кол, блядь, нахуй?
I think one Bardo might have been a bit thrown off by that joke.
Mario testing out his ability to play the role of withered live.
Блядь, вот во что они, блядь, играют, ебаный в рот? Блядь, это просто какой-то пиздец. Доехал Трипс, блядь, со всеми четверками он, блядь, делит.
As we take a look at our chip counts
Кол,
here
блядь,
at
играем кол.
250k level. Bryn Kenny,
блядь.
our new chip leader, as mentioned, 51 big blinds. Dylan Lindy, 46.
Ну зарези ты, выкини, блядь, Алын тебе поставит, ебаный в рот.
27 big blinds. Steve O'Dwyer in the rear, 18 blinds.
Блядь, это просто... Я не знаю. Может, я тупой, хуй знает.
Are the payouts. Fifth is 676. First place is 2.333.
These payouts feeling a little bit flatter to you, Griffin, than the previous ones. I just notice, you know, it's a little detail, but pay jump from third to second, almost 500k.
Так, я, короче, пойду сейчас это...
Second to first, 700. Just a little bit more than 700k. Last few events, we've seen really big jumps between first and second, and
yeah, there was
not quite as big earlier.
700k jump one when the next jump was like 150, 200 or something.
Yeah, I think with the field here being 215 entries, you know, a lot of the others have been 300 plus at the smaller price point. Seeing a structure that a lot of these players are a little more familiar with, I might say. And with those flatter pay jumps, even more kind of risk avoidance going to be employed at this stage. 5 left in each ladder is really, really meaningful.
Juan Pardo has the kind of hand that can really punish this open. It's going to be happy to get all in against O'Dwyer. Wouldn't be thrilled if Bryn came along, but shove plays nice. As previously mentioned, no Triton titles for Juan Pardo. He's been on the tour for a couple years now. Feels like it's just one of those matter of time situations. And why not a 50K? because he's won 50Ks before, just not here. Queen 3 for Bryn. And wow, you can see how the strategy shifts now that he has him covered. Elects for a raise with the Queen 3. I don't think there is any way we would have seen this were Dylan still the bigger chip stack.
Yeah, I would agree. And even if a lot of other players are in this seat with Bryn's stack, I'm not going to approach it quite like this because, you know, sometimes there's this unspoken agreement between the number 1 and number 2 that they're not going to clash in this way. But we've talked about this before, Griffin. The first person to jump ahead and show aggression.
Yeah.
Ну, сейчас будет дать как сказать. Чек, чек нахуй, чек, блядь, чек нахуй, чек, блядь, чек. А, нет, смотри, блядь, нихуя себе.
Fair to assume that Dylan is defending here with one of the worst suited hands he would continue with. Maybe he'd give it to him with the 7-3.
Поставил? А зачем так много?
7-3,
3x
in position, just pot odds wise, you know, pretty reasonable spot to play a lot of hands, blind versus blind.
I guess he would also play with 4-5 and 4-6 suited, so.
Yeah, certainly the lower connected stuff, but, you know, you're right. Like, we're already a 2-gapper here. 3-gapper might be too many gappers.
And this pot getting pretty interesting.
А, ну тогда можно
10 big blinds out there, and you got to be kidding me. Goliath.
Ну, сейчас где-то полбанка, да, и пас. Ну, из-за того, как раз будет пас из-за того, что он поставил на флопе плотную. То есть, если бы он поставил там один лайт, на терне крупную, то он бы 7 не выкинул. А так сейчас крупная, сейчас, скорее всего, тоже будет. Ну, да, полбанка где-то. Больше, да.
Yeah, and I think
ну, пас,
if I had to,
то есть там,
if I had to guess, which I shouldn't always do, I'm doing the play-by-play over here, but I could see Lind making a very, very, very big fold here with the 7. I mean, it feels like overfolding, but man, you call here and suddenly you're down to like 7.5, and you never know if Bryn's gonna just like give up. You don't really have a defense against a third bullet. I mean, I feel like I tuck tail and run here.
I wouldn't hate it. And, you know, I don't even necessarily see it as an overfold with this kind of hand. We've got a bad kicker, not only because it's low, but maybe interferes with some potential bluffs with draws. We don't have equity either, no redraw. If we had hearts, we can continue. If we had 8-9, we can continue. Ну, да. Those are weak hands, but at least.
То есть поставил бы он один ББ на флопе и на терне плотную, он бы и хуй когда 7 выкинул.
Yeah, I think Dylan is going to be pretty proud.
Но мы сразу изображаем десятку, на терне ловим. Ну, то есть на самом деле тут не обязательно много ставить. У нас по сути не убивашка вообще, не бочища, ни хуя.
Just 3 of a kind. It feels like maybe he could have had Jacks plus, but some relief gets that intel.
Типа спаренный борт не обязательно там, блядь, хуярить.
There is the Triton trophy, the coveted.
То есть если там десятка, она один хуй не выкинет, да?
No stranger to those trophies.
Ну хотя, да, нормально. Ну полбанка я бы полбанка ставил, может чуть меньше. Процентов 40.
Idyllic home in Austria.
Пардон, кол просто, да. Никаких трибетов.
Definitely a hand we do something with as one Pardo. Looks like someone thinking about a 3-bet.
3-bet. Ну, окей. Как бы. Я бы за кол играл.
Yeah, I'm gonna really be interested in how
Типа я бы трибетил здесь от туз-2 мастевые, туз-3, туз-4. Да, король иксовые.
We're always continuing to some degree, whether it's a call or a shove. The offsuit sort of shove over top of the 3-bet feels high variance with the short stack of O'Dwyer, but I mean, we're raising the hijack 22 big blinds. There's going to be some bluff raises from Pardo.
Yeah, it's just not necessarily. I like the fold still. It's not the kind of hand. Having a jack there isn't necessarily better than having some other side card, right, with the ace. Because if Juan Pardo puts all the money in there, we're just going to see ace-queen suited plus. We're going to see jacks plus. Like, jack not necessarily, ace-jack rather, not necessarily better than, you know, ace-6 suited or whatever, right? So...
Туз-8 слишком. Как бы понятное дело, что если мы туз-8 так выбиваем, то нормально. Но опять же, хочется руки, наверное, послабее чуть.
The payout structure dictates we just have to make some pretty gross feeling passes like that one. Yeah, and Bryn's definitely feeling his lead growing and starting to open up significantly.
Дуэр сидит, пока король даму за то, чтобы опять кол сыграть. Ну ни одной интересной раздачи. Вот просто ни одной. Блять, вот сколько я там дней смотрю, да, ну так, периодически, не прям нон-стопом. Ну, вообще ноль интересных раздач.
20 more minutes left in level 26.
По мне ужасных раздач просто туча, блядь.
Bryn pocket threes now, effectively under the gun. And continues playing the rush.
Так мы чупаки, понятно.
Pretty perfectly. You were to get a bet by someone like Lindy.
Коротких много.
You know, if you get a shove from Mossbach for 18 big blinds, easy fold. Curious how you might react to a Steve O'Dwyer 10 big blind shove.
Yeah, that would have been an ugly spot. And
ты видел, Хольц не видел.
Mario's got a close one here.
Yeah, it's 21 big blinds. You know that Bryn is opening quite wide. We saw the 10-9 off. Now we see the threes.
Ну, тут, кстати, нормально. Тут можно и пихнуть, можно и дать, типа...
3-bet folding this, but yeah, it's just gonna shove.
Можно дать, типа, 4,5.
Nice find.
Yeah.
5.
And you can see the difference, right? Hand strength, not always the most important thing. We saw Mario raise and very comfortably fold ace-jack off. Technically was ahead in that spot, but just the spot is so different than, you know, the ace-10. Prepared to put in all of your chips when it's Bryn raising.
Туз 10 опять выбивает все, что ты так старше, да.
These players have really studied these spots and understand them to a T.
То есть тебя же там никогда не кольнет, там туз 9, да, мастевая. Ну просто никогда. Типа выбьешь ты какие-то шестерки, семерки. Ну король даму, понятно. Король валет.
Pretty healthy chip stack, and Queen 7 a big upgrade from the last time Juan Pardo found himself in this spot.
Yeah, but he just can't raise, and he shouldn't really limp call, so kind of gives full power to Bryn, especially when he gets dealt ace-king offsuit.
Дама 8 limp call.
Yeah, we're gonna see a raise.
Да, он типа чип-лидер, блядь, будет нас пиздошить. Ну, пока Парда лучше всех играет. А что вчера за кол был? Подходится. Я просто не смотрел. Я знаешь, что Филатов играл?
I can raise the bad one next time. Of course.
He shows it, of course, to say that. Yeah.
I don't know. You're dangerous.
Time to win race.
Dangerous one. Gotta like tiptoe on the minefield. Don't want to blow up on a bomb.
Juan Pardo now ace-5 of hearts on the button. And hey, guys and gals on YouTube, if you like what you're seeing either today or any of these other days, or even if you don't like, please just write in #survey in the YouTube chat, and that'll give you the instructions to fill out a survey. Tell us what you think of the stream, what we can improve on, get specific. We are always looking to make the product even better each and every stop here on Triton.
Oh, he says all in.
Oh my gosh, and Dylan Lind sitting there with 2 9s, recognizing what this range looks like, surely understanding Brins can have hands like this, Kevin, hands like smaller pairs. What do you do?
Wow, there's so much upside potentially here for Dylan. If he were to call and win, he would be massive chip lead.
Не думаю, что он
Only
выкинет
5
здесь.
left, and like you said,
Девят.
pocket nines is going to
Ну,
be
он бы
good for
расширял
well
бы,
against a
скорее
big
всего,
chunk of the
все.
hands that choose this line. Bryn
То есть
doesn't have to go all
пихи
in
у него
like
как
he's
раз
been
такие
betting.
руки.
He
Может,
could go
хуёво здесь посмотреть на вале 10,
go to
конечно.
million
Но
with a hand like jacks plus an ace-king suited.
выкинул.
But Dylan is worried about running into a lot of ace-queen offsuits, ace-king
That's
offsuits,
the only way I could win it, right?
suited broadways.
Same hand.
Oh, Dylan's
А
gonna be
тот, блядь,
frustrated
смотрит,
to see
блядь,
that hand
девятка
showdown
выкинул.
because he knows he could have
Ёбаный.
called and been in there with 70% equity.
Yeah. Middle pair. Middling pair.
А будут еще только мой, без понятия, брат. Не знаю. Ну, по идее, по 100 тысяч должны какие-нибудь, по 250 тысяч, по-моему, должны быть. То есть пока не было самых дорогих. Ну, то есть было по... Там, они же начинают с самого дешевого, типа по 15, потом по 20, по 40, сейчас вот по 50. И больше, больше, больше. И, по-моему, в конце 250, самый дорогой. Так,
Ace Queen, can you even call as Ace Queen gets dealt? That was prophetic.
Like tens and ace queen and suited. I can tell you I didn't like when you started to think.
I'm sure not.
Because I know that you're not showboating there. You've got a hand there.
No reason to.
Yeah.
Just passing on the king jack on the button. Bryn obviously willing to exercise his chip lead, but also
I can't let you, chip up too much.
showing
это с
some
король валет, который ты говоришь? Ну что, ну с нацем играем попроще, что? Как всегда.
Yeah, the best poker advice I ever got was be looser in spots people wouldn't expect and tighter in spots people wouldn't expect. And I see a player like Bryn, and I always just see that in practice, I think. You know who told me that advice?
I don't mind that.
Он на терне поставил. Ну,
Yeah.
какую руку он ему придумал?
I think he went broke, right? Was that the story?
Timex.
Timex ran out of time, I remember.
One of the worst
Да,
gamblers of
блядь.
all time.
Yeah.
I have a chance to get
Just didn't really have a knack for it.
Подарил,
Ran good at first,
бля.
which was cute, but then it all fell apart.
Really good basketball.
Ну, кроме подарка, это ничего.
Yeah. Didn't quite make it to the show, though. O'Dwyer flopping huge here off just 9 big blinds, hoping for exactly this kind of equity. Getting this min c-bet for Mario. Those chips are dust in the wind, my friend.
Yeah, this is a weird one for O'Dwyer. Does he think if he check raises big, or check raises in general, that a hand like ace high gets away? If so, I think he would just trap. He has so much equity with his 3 of a kind when Mario doesn't have a draw, and that is the most common.
Мейн-ивента не было еще? Я не знаю там как мейн-ивент, как это. О, типичный Стив O'Dwyer, бля, сидели, кольнули, трипс на флопе. Рейзинг флоп. Вот тут реально. Тут нельзя против никого выкинуть, кроме, блядь, Стива Двайера, мне кажется. Ну там, блядь, всегда восьмерка, блядь. Ну, чел просто там, блядь. Чек, нахуй. Все. Не чек, чек просто потому что обосрались, да? Ну как бы он и должен чекать восьмерку. Ну, нам тут смысл ставки 0. От Мосбока. То есть у нас full house, мы смысла, блядь, ставить 0. Всегда чекаем. Стив там еще на ривере прочекает. Хотя он, ну типа, он всегда выставляется. Пизда. Ну тут, кстати, вот тут, если Одвайер чекает, нормально. Ну, если он ставит, ну, то есть, вот опять же, да, приходит туз, наша карта. Ну, то есть, у Мосбока часто тут туз. Так он всю жизнь, ну, я и говорю, я не знаю, кто ему платит вообще, что-то платит. Вот условно он, ну, он же сейчас тут алын никогда не поставит. Ну, просто никогда. Тут и не надо алын ставить. Тут у него, типа, чисто блефкач идет. Типа, туз подходит часто этому Мосбоку. Ну, у Мосбока и десятки есть. По мне хуйня полная. Ну, типа, опять же, почему туз, который подходит нам, он хуярит? Я в душе не ебу. Ну, то есть, что Стив Одвайер сыграет так с валет 9, я никогда, блядь, в жизни не поверю. С 9-7 никогда в жизни не поверю. 7-6 никогда в жизни не поверю. Что он идет тут с этими руками выбивать сплиты, когда пришел туз, никогда в жизни, блядь, не поверю. Ну просто, ну просто. Ну, он же должен понимать, против кого он играет. Ну, то есть это, ну, они же смотрят, как он играет. Ну, то есть он же никогда здесь не пойдет именно в туза выбивать. То есть, условно, приходит там какая-то двойка, можно там еще придумать, что нам идет выбивать. Но туз, который подходит нам, и в него кто-то идет что-то выбивать, это, блядь, сказка, блядь, бред сивой кобылы. Просто. Что он так сыграет какие-то ФД, типа терн чекнул ФД, ривер флэш закрылся, и он хуярит. Ну, хороший пас, молодец. Молодец. Ну, молодец, что. Когда молодец, я же не говорю, что не молодец.
Drunk fam on YouTube asking, save 25K for question mark, question mark, question mark. So the utility of doing that is, in the case that you are bluffing and you get caught bluffing by a hand like that ace queen, you still have 25K to potentially run it up.
То есть, я говорю, что он пойдет здесь хуярить там какие, я не знаю, какая, что там у него может быть. Какая вот рука. Ну, типа, давай придумаем блеф. Вот. Руки, которые я назвал, играют типа рейс на флопе, с учетом того, что типа мы выставляемся все равно. Приходит двойная спарка. Двойную спарку никто не блефует, когда она закрывается, потому что если у тебя фулл хаус, смысла нет. Вся хуйня. Все, мы играем чек. Ривер приходит туз. Почему, ну, и нам идет алын. Пытаясь выбить дележку. Блядь.
I think that was one of the first times I ever saw it, and then it really started becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, big blind ante. You can thank the advent of that structure for the development of that tactic. Obviously, a side effect. Big blind ante also making it significantly smoother.
Да, ну нет, тоже кажется.
If anyone was so unlucky,
а может пизды получится,
individually posted antes.
Как обычно. Ну, просто опять же, я говорю, нет раздач, которые, ну, прям так вот, блядь, ебать. Ну, охуенно. Типа сыгранно, охуенно, там, скрыл охуенно, там, что-то это. Блефанул.
I do think I like the
Просто
fold,
сидят все, блядь, по карте катают,
but
нахуй.
maybe noticing that he's not that far off of a hand that should probably call.
Yeah, I'm always
Ну, может быть, так и надо играть. А вот эти все, то, что там я делаю сам, блядь, нахуй, на своей хуйне, может, это нахуй никому не нужно, блядь.
just very rare to see him make a mistake. Someone that I would say is relatively new to the super high roller scene. You know, back when I was playing sort of mid high rollers and main events, he was sort of in those.
Я не знаю, я не понимаю, как Линды выкинул девятки.
Suddenly was
Я думаю, там
100Ks, 50Ks,
не бросается
meteoric rise.
девятки. Ну, то есть, Баттон открыл, Кенни пихнул. То есть, я думаю, что он всегда бы расширял бы. Просто у них такая глубина, что типа идет, всегда идет расширение. То есть, условно, какие-то семерки, восьмерки выкинуть воды. На девятку, думаю. Ой, бля. Ну, сейчас этот хуесос и выиграет еще Алын, блядь. Ну, он пихнет, понятное дело. Ну, потому что он может трибетить Кенни, потому что он чип-лидер, типа, блядь, игроков будет открываться, вся хуйня. Ну, десятки, естественно, не бросается ни в каком мере. Забираешь, если все фолдят, 2700 просто на халяву. А тут могут быть какие-то там туз-валеты, которые там точно так же сыграют, да. Разномастные. Король-дама. Разномастные. Девятки, скорее всего, какие-то колом играет. Ну, мы видели, что они какие-то туз-8 трибейтят. Я не знаю, если он тут выкинет десятки, это просто...
Not to overshadow this legitimately close spot. I think O'Dwyer's got to be thinking about,
Я думаю,
just how often do I believe that Dylan's bluffing in this situation?
Как тут выкинуть десятки, я хуй.
From Dylan, right? He's not expecting to get it in good against the value range of Lindy.
Just think, yeah. The reason why I like fold and the why that you owe me the equivalent of about I don't know, 15 Canadian dollars, maybe 20 Canadian dollars, is because
should have prepaid.
Yeah. I mean, you got to ask yourself in these spots, right? Like, what kind of an animal am I dealing with Dylan Lind? Like, yeah, Bryn Kenny is extremely active. Yeah, Dylan's aware of that, but Bryn Kenny's our significant chip leader.
Вот, блядь,
is Dylan really going to want to like come after him?
Турик, блядь, по 10 открой, любой, блядь. Там и то лучше, блядь, отыграет. Ну, опять же, тут придумать вообще легко. Ну, чел открывает, о, ебать. Ну, дама валет, естественно, бестолковый их. Ну, чисто, блядь. Отъехал, блядь. Ну, типа, нажми кол, у тебя хорошая рука, блядь, что ты. Типа, выбить как раз король-даму, король-валет. Ну, блядь. То есть, один, блядь, выкидывает десятки, блядь. Второй даму-валет зачем-то пихает. Какие-то восьмерки тоже пихать должны, или девяток границ. Да. Да можно и колы сыграть, восьмерки, девятки, типа. Давай валета, нахуй. Чё, блядь, чё, бля, бородатый, блядь. Выкинул, блядь, трипсик. Ебать, там флоп мечты, блядь. Ну если так, конечно, то... Ну, Бринкини сыграл опять не в ту сторону, но выиграл. Да. И тот сыграл не ту сторону, но выиграл бы. Бля, это пиздец.
Refusing to go delicate with his table mate and just maybe peel the 2.4x or, you know, just no, and there's no...
The toughest competitor heads up. Finally. Usually give me the soft ones heads up. Finally. Give me someone to fight.
Really unfortunate. I mean, a great score for Dylan. Look, I mean, he's so getting things done. I mean, this is third cash. Such a high cash rate. I mean, an incredible Montenegro 2024 with 4 final tables. It is going to fall in 5th place here. Hailing from the U.S., coming down here and taking home $676,000. Yeah, a bit of a sigh there. Says his good games, knowing he really got the short end of the stick. That would have, you know, given him the chip lead here. But instead, Bryn has a very big one. And those are the prizes left. We are just one elimination. One elimination, my goodness, away from the 7-figure pay jump, pay ladder, pay area.
Fun stacks.
Payout.
This coffee needs to get working here. This is ridiculous.
You feel for Dylan after that
Yeah,
one,
that's
for
rough.
sure. You could
Especially
tell
when
that
the blinds go up in 1 minute.
you come in with
then
high
it's fun
expectations.
stacks.
And you even have position on Bryn, right? You think, okay,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll keep him
Gamble
at bay a little bit.
Ну на, здорово, брат.
And
No, I
then
hope
Bryn
none of you
just...
guys gamble for about 10-15 minutes.
Things really did not go his
You
way
get the wrong customers.
over the
Well,
course
you
of
could
this
just
final
get card
table.
dead. Or just get like the bottom and
Ну, или пас, или 3-бет. Ну, никаких, блядь, колов.
having like 1 or 2, like when you then get a good hand, 2 stacks short.
Не ходяшки. Блядь, ну ты смотришь, это ж пиздец. Ну, блядь, это просто пиздец.
Anyway, just having fun.
Ну, я не знаю. Ну, опять же, я говорю, может, я что-то не понимаю.
That's how it's like positioned.
Я просто
I guess
тупой,
it's
блядь,
defensive.
своим, блядь, мышлением оби-20, блядь.
Sonny, can I get a
Oh, we might see Bryn take a flop there.
normal Coke?
Ну, типа,
Yeah, ice.
But we're definitely going to see him.
ну, то есть открывается чипак, да? Ну, то есть, скорее всего, он открывается широко. Кто-то его трибетит. Ну, то есть, ему блеф легко тоже придумать. Ну, то есть,
No, I want a Coke. When you ordered that Coke.
спокойно. У тебя десятки. Ну, как можно, блядь, выкинуть? Ну, как можно выкинуть? Да, финальный стол, да, блядь, это. Да, там могут быть нации, блядь. Ну, блядь. Что? Что ты собрался играть тогда, блядь, вообще?
I mean, the producer, James, did just bring me a coffee. I really shouldn't complain. I'll get a Coke after. King 10 of spades for one part on the button.
James, we need more.
Никто не своя атмосфера, это пиздец.
I don't want to push my luck.
Ну, кстати, тут лимп норм. Потому что, видишь, Кенни там что-то пихает, блядь, через руку, блядь. Ну, видимо, у него просто нет этого.
Imagine the invincibility you must feel if you're Bryn Kenny. Like, he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar with the queen jack. I just think he thought he was winning that every time. Do you know what I mean?
It does just, I mean, that's what you get from the comfort.
Король 4, блядь, против баттона.
Like, oh, things are just going to go my way.
Пас,
It's all fine.
Десятки, пас тоже, нахуй. Валеты бы выкинул, им тоже, нахуй. Что, блядь? Король 4, валеты, блядь, похуй, все, пас. Тузов ждем, сидим.
Blinds up. 200,000, 400,000.
То есть король 4 это как тузы, блядь, практически.
Just 4 players
Похуй, пас.
remain here. And by all accounts, coming into this FT, these 4, I would say, along with Watson being the 5th, were the 5 that really stood out to me in skill and accomplishment.
Тут может лимп.
Taking nothing away from Dylan Lynn, Brandon Wilson, and
22 блайда, да?
Savalas, who are all exceptional talents in their own rights. But these,
нормально. Но опять же,
you know, there's something enigmatic about each one of these individuals.
Yeah.
Just incredible, incredible success on the tour.
Ну, просто видишь, что они не таёбы, блядь, нахуй, ебаные, да? И типа...
We might see these chips go in.
Yeah, these two are so interesting too.
И поэтому открывается.
They're kind of on their rise.
То есть, да, там он пихнул туз, ну, там такая рука была, что он пихает, ну...
Whereas Bryn and Steve, just outrageous amount of cashes between them. I think they're over 100 combined in total cashes.
Вот сейчас посмотрит.
And
Фокус-тэк, ну, скорее пас. Ну, нет, из-за того, что там короткий, скорее пас. Потому что, ну, он не будет супер широко пихать. Мозбок. Я бы выкинул.
Now that the blinds have gone up.
Из-за того, что там Одвайер сидит с, короче, стеком.
Yeah, and this spot represents such a big swing. I mean, they're already guaranteed so much money, like nothing to scoff at 854,000 for fourth place, but
That's all right. He could take like any
Oh, Marina Ruido.
you win this double, you're in contention to get up to that,
he could take like
1.5, 2.23 million.
А может не паскую. Ну, я бы выкинул. Из-за того, что, опять же, из-за того, что Одвайер, короче. А чел допихает с ББ, когда часто он просто кол нажмет, да.
Make things more
И все.
interesting, though.
Мы тут.
If they sparkle, if it's a 10,
nine of diamonds.
an
Come
ace,
on, let's have
a
a
nine.
real card like a nine of diamonds.
Bryn wants
10
the
бубен.
real card.
Все.
If it's a 4, it's going to be queen on the river, so.
Ace gives 4 more outs in the form of Broadway 10s. Mario so.
Хотя ему сколько доставить? Ему 8 блайдов надо доставить, да?
His friends
8.
on the rail, cheering him on.
8 за 20. Получается сколько?
And he will go celebrate with his cohorts. You love to see it. One at a time.
8 за 23.
So glad COVID's over. We never would have been able to do that.
Но опять же, мне кажется, там просто такой рейндж, что типа король-дама.
And you can tell how meaningful it was, that flip for Mario. How
Ну не бабл,
competitive he
просто
is
ECM. Бабл.
as he rises up the ranks of these Triton super high rollers, probably taking a little more money of himself, and 50Ks especially, right?
Oh yeah.
Which should be his sort of bread and butter.
And I mean, you mentioned earlier, former footballer is Mario. Used to top competition in other arenas, and you can see he brings that kind of energy to poker.
Yeah.
You know, that not everyone who's been in poker for a long time shows at the table.
Ну то есть, вот этот кол точно не, как бы не приносит каких-то там супер бабок, блядь, нахуй, да? Там около нулевая борода, блядь, какая-нибудь. То есть десятками у тебя еще какой-то там fold equity есть, да? Когда ты пихаешь. То есть колом ты, опять же, колом турниры не выигрываются, да? Так, ладно, пошел я, короче, мыться и поеду.
Mario is going to shove effective 10 big blinds on Pardo, get it through.
Just 14 blinds in the cutoff for O'Dwyer. Posting 1 million in blinds every orbit. Gotta think this is the type of hand we might just want to open rip.
4.4 million.
Yeah, that will be an effective shove from O'Dwyer. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's going to go in.
That is going to play.
We cleared the ace-2 suited, but we can't clear the ace-jack suited of Bryn Kenny.
Come on, Bryn. All in and call.
Come on, Bryn, I believe Pardo said. being not afraid to be open about what. Yeah, look at that little eyebrow raise to the rail. I mean, this represents such a significant pay jump. Over 200 grand between fourth and third, and then you're playing for big boy money. No help on the flop for O'Dwyer, but there is a little heart dangler. That 5 of hearts. Jack of hearts, queen of hearts, or something like that would be very interesting. Jack kills the 10, but gives 1 additional out. So now 4 queens, 3 kings. Drum roll, please. Was there ever a doubt? Steve O'Dwyer, our 4th place finisher for $854,000 US dollars. I think he laddered up quite nicely. Played really well as usual. And now just 3 players remain.
So, Juan, what are we doing?
I go to win, I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna win pretty sure?
I go to win.
That's right, you're a nice guy, so that's what happens, that's what happens.
Yeah, Steve O'Dwyer, what can you say? I mean, just one of the top players in the world for the better part of 10 years plus now, as far as I can count. Maybe even longer. I mean, he's just been crushing forever. And should be happy with an $854,000 score, but would have liked to have gone to that 7-figure territory where we will leave our 3 combatants. One part are going to be the short stack with $3.5 million. Mossbach with 25 big blinds at $10 million, but it's all about the Big Daddy.
450K? Okay, it's pretty big.
It's too much rate, no problem.
Should I look?
Mario play for win.
Bryn joking that he doesn't even have to look at his cards with how much pressure he can put on Mario right now. 500K pay jump for the jump from 3rd to 2nd.
And is giving Mario a chance because could have just shoved in the 25 big blinds, and I reckon Mario would have to fold such a big hand as Queen Jack with this 500K pay jump. But now an opportunity for Mario to get in there and see a flop.
Yeah, I have a feeling this hand's going to call. We'd like to see what develops. We're ahead of bluffs, but no reason to 3-bet this hand.
Of course. And Kenny takes the lead.
Other than to protect against the 7-deuce suited, which is going to outflop.
He just knew he was going to outflop him is the problem.
King high board with a couple of low cards. Not surprised to see Bryn continuing with aggression. And it's awkward with Queen Jack high.
No
we still
diamond.
beat some stuff, yeah, but with no diamond, we're not going to pick up equity that often. A few ways to make straight draws, though, or decent pairs. This one feels close to me. Yes, Mario wants the ladder, but he also wants a shot at 2.2 up top.
Gets there on the turn, and that is part of the incentive of feeling against this, you know, 1.6 big blind bet. It's just you have the
Что там?
equity.
Опять плотную флоп поставил, опять терн не доехали, прочекали. То же самое, да, все?
And it's happened for Mario here.
And we'd expect Bryn to bluff this card a lot, trying to represent the top of the deck, but with a pair of deuces...
Так, ну все, короче. Пацаны, я поехал.
Oh, he's just gonna keep firing.
Good luck, говорит. А, да. Ставить дальше.
Bryn thinking of this as kind of a two-way bet, where maybe we get a 6 to fold and a flush draw to call.
And a king and a queen to call.
Of course, yeah, king or a queen.
Так было сыграно.
I wouldn't expect to go anywhere at this stage.
Сегодня раздачу дай посмотрим.
Betting 4.5 blinds.
Ну, Кенни, наверное, открыл, да?
Kind of nice proposition. if things work out the way I described.
$8 million in the middle, going to the river. And Bryn, yeah, that sort of telling look over to him like, okay,
Ну, give up.
You are
Никаких даблефов, нахуй.
in a portion of your range that my deuce is very unlikely to be beating. Of course, yeah, there are the flush draws, but this leans, you know, king, maybe turn queen, and the flush draws you'd be beating on this 6 river. So doubtful that Bryn turns this hand into a bluff, I would think, Kev.
Yeah, I think this hand's far too strong on the river. I could understand the idea on the turn to clear some close hands, but there's, you know, there's responsible aggression and there's reckless aggression, and I think betting this hand on the river would